I'm going to give a demo today of how you can create your own HTML extension using Extension Builder 3. Okay, so I've got Eclipse open here, and inside of this version of Eclipse I've installed the new Extension Builder 3 plugin. So in order to get started, I first have to create a project. So I'm going to go to File, New, Other, and select Adobe Extension Builder 3, and underneath that choose Application Extension Project. Okay, so I just have to give my project a name, Hello World. And there are some other customizations I could do here, but for now I'm just going to leave them all as the default values. Next I have to choose which applications I'm targeting. For this first one I'm just going to target Premiere, and then I'm going to hit finish. So I could go and do some more customizations, but for now let's just leave it as simple as possible. Okay, cool. So it created a project for me, and it also created some files. So the main file that you probably want to focus on is this index.html1. This is going to be the main entry point for your application. It's going to define the layout, and you can have scripts in here. Normally we suggest putting scripts into external JavaScript files, but for this demo here, all the code is inside of the index.html. Okay, so there's kind of a lot here. I'm not really going to focus on that. Notice that there's a function that says update theme with application skin info. So pretty much the UI is going to update based on the theme of the application. The part I am going to change though is the code that's run when the button is clicked. So there's going to be a button in my extension. It's going to run this code. But rather than having it alert the name of the application, I'm going to have it alert something special, Hello World Demo. Okay, so I'm just going to save that. Now I'm going to launch my extension by right-clicking on the project and choosing Debug as Adobe Premiere Pro extension. So when I click on that, it's going to launch up Premiere with my extension installed. Okay, so here's Premiere. Go over to Window, Extensions, and there's my extension. You can see this is it. This is our HTML running inside of Premiere. When I click on this button, it's going to display the string that I put in. Now this panel here can be used pretty much like any panel, kind of like how you'd expect if you're familiar with the old Flash-based extensions. I can dock it, and it will expand to its content. Yeah, this is pretty much the simplest example you can see. You may have also noticed that when it launched up, there's this other window that pops up as well. So this is a debug view into the running extension. So if anyone's played with the Chrome debugger before, you'll notice that this is pretty much the exact same experience here. As I mouse over these different elements, it's going to show me the elements inside of the application. Okay, so I moused over body, now it's showing me this is the body. My body has a margin of 8, has a width of 882. So this is pretty useful when you're trying to figure out why something is being laid out in a certain way when you're debugging your extension. I can also make dynamic changes to these to this content. So maybe I want to see what it looks like if I change the string here. I can just double click on that, and maybe I'll change it to the demo. Hit enter, and now you can see that that button dynamically updated without having to relaunch the extension. So that's pretty cool. I can also dynamically put in code. So maybe I want to do an alert. Okay, I'm sick of doing hello world. I'm going to do hello blah. And it's going to do an alert there. So it gives you a sense of just a taste of the debugging, and It's a pretty simple extension. So let me go back over to Extension Builder and create one that's a bit more interesting. Okay, so I'm going to create a new project. To bring that menu up there, I just did Command N. I'm going to create a new project, call this one Trello. Not sure if anyone's played with Trello before, but Trello is basically this to-do list app online. It's an external company. Pretty cool little app, I think, but I'm going to show you what it's like to embed an iframe inside of your extension. Okay, so I'm going to remove the synchronizing interface because we're going to use Trello's interface, and I'm also going to use the minimal template. Okay, so again, I'm going to target Premiere. Don't worry, I'll show some demos later that have Photoshop and Illustrator. But for now, let's stick with Premiere. Okay, cool. So created my project. Okay, this time I'm going to delete all the little boilerplate we have here. And going to point an iframe to Trello.com. Okay. So very simple, just standard HTML here. I'm also going to add very simple styling so that iframe is filled to the entire extension. Okay, so I want my HTML, my body, and my iframe to all have width of 100%, height of 100%, border of 0, margin of 0, and overflow of hidden. Okay, so that's all that I need. So very simple extension here. No code on my end running. I'm just going to point to Trello. Okay, so I'm ready to test it. Debug as Premiere extension. And again, that'll launch up Premiere. When I go over to Premiere, I'll just choose that extension. And there you go. So it's now pointing to Trello. And just like that, what did I add? Like 10 lines of code? But just like that, I have a pretty useful extension here. So this is just the standard Trello website. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And this is my normal Trello board. I can interact with it in the same way that I could on the website. Good thing about Trello here is that they have a nice responsive interface. So if I have it in a mode like this where it's narrow, it's going to give me a mobile interface. But if I dock it here, maybe I want to dock it up here, you're going to see that it dynamically changes to a mode that's more fit for this wider area. And again, I can just interact with this like how I could on the Trello website. So maybe I want to add a card here. No, complete this demo. Okay, maybe I want to add a label to this, so I can just pick some colors here. Maybe I want to add a file. So again, this is nothing special that Trello wrote for us here. This is just working just because we're hosting HTML inside of Premiere here. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to show. I hope you've enjoyed the demo and give you a sense of some of the things that are possible using the new HTML extensions. Thanks for watching.